So Mafia, The Old Country, ClairObscur, Expedition 33, Fallen Feathers, Split Fiction, Ninja Gaiden Black 2, Oblivion Remastered. What do all of these games have in common? Besides being pretty good games. I mean, besides Mafia, that hasn't come out yet. But they're all going to be $49.99. They're $50. These games are all $50. And this is coming out at a time where everybody was assuming that there was going to be a huge price hike on all games and everything was going to be $80, $90 for a game. You know, Nintendo did their thing and they're like, hey, we hate you and we're going to charge $80, $90 for a game. You want a physical copy, you got to pay more, all this crazy. Everybody's freaking out thinking that's going to be every game. And then what do we have? We have the AA studios, the small teams, they're coming in clutch, man. They're coming out. And then we even have some of the bigger studios. Oblivion Remastered. It's just a remaster of an old game. It's just graphics. It's not perfect. Still has a lot of issues, but it's an amazing game because Oblivion is an amazing game. Everybody thought that was going to be $70 at least. Every single person in the world was like, it's going to be at least $70, $50. And you can get it on Game Pass for if you have a PC, bro, Game Pass is $12 a month. If you're on Xbox, it's $20. But for $20 a month, you get access to Oblivion Remaster and Expedition 33. That already is those are the two best games of the year so far, and you can get them on Game Pass. It's insane. And if you don't have Game Pass and if you have a PlayStation, you can still buy them and play them on PlayStation, and you're still only spending $50. This is crazy. And Mafia, The Old Country looks pretty good. It looks very interesting. I played Mafia 1 and 2. I loved Mafia 2. I didn't play the third one. Heard the third one had a lot of issues. But this game is only $50. This was another game everybody was expecting. This is probably going to be at least $60, $70, and it's only going to be $50. Now, is it going to be as big as the other games? No. It's not going to be open world. It's going to be a lot more linear and story focused and character focused. But that's not a bad thing. Not every game needs to have a day and night cycle and, an open world the size of Mustafar and fucking, a billion NPCs that have jobs and hobbies and, they have a section of the day where they're just jerking off. No, not every game needs that, all right? And I understand GTA 6 is coming out next year, and we'll talk about GTA 6 in a minute. But these games that are smaller and more focused on characters and story, it's this is honestly the perfect time for that type of content. And the reason being is because graphics as a whole, right? Advancement in graphics and physics and all these different things, it's kind of plateaued. When we get a new PS6 or whatever, the graphics compared to PS5 or PS5 Pro, it's not going to be that big of a difference, dude. It really isn't. Compared to PS3 versus PS4 or PS2 versus PS3, the generational jumps from console to console or generation to generation, it's not the same as it was 10, 15 years ago. It's kind of plateaued. And we know now that you don't even need to have amazing kick-ass graphics really to sell a good game. You could just have good art design and lighting, and then there you go. So it's a good time for video game companies to kind of focus more on characters and story and gameplay elements. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing of all time and have everything in it. I think what's really going to thrive in this industry going forward, it's not going to be big studios. Now, a studio like Rockstar with GTA, right, 6 is obviously they're going to be the big dogs. They're going to make $1 billion within 10 seconds of that game coming out. Let's just be honest. But companies like Ubisoft and Square Enix and all these different companies that keep fucking up and making trash and losing money and, they're in debt. Ubisoft was $2 billion in debt or some shit, which is insane. The budget for GTA 6 was the amount of debt Ubisoft owed, which is crazy. And they had to sell off a bunch of their shit to Tencent or whatever company in China bought up a bunch of their shares. But it's these companies, these big companies, a lot of them are going to fail. because the way they produce games, the way they think about games is just shit that people don't want to play. And these smaller studios like Sandfall Interactive, right? You know, like these smaller studios with 30 plus people working on a game opposed to like hundreds, they're going to have an opportunity to do really well. All they have to do is, instead of focusing about making a game that has an open world and has all these features that doesn't really need to be there, they could focus on story and characters, and just if they just have good writing, you know, make an RPG with good writing, you know, have people that work on this game that actually like give a shit about it. Do that. And then guess what? Charge $50 for the game. Hell yeah, bro. Everybody who sees a game that's like $50, they automatically, like what I've seen the discourse online has automatically been like, oh shit, this is actually, I'm going to buy this just because it's $50. And ClairObscur has been amazing so far. I've been loving it, and I've been playing it on Game Pass. I'm going to buy it on Steam. And I'm not going to buy it on sale. I'm not going to buy it, like, I'm going to beat it on Game Pass, and then I'm going to rebuy it on Steam. I'm going to do it full price. I don't care if the money goes to Xbox. I don't care if it goes to Sandfall. I don't care who it goes to. It has earned my money, and I'm not even like halfway through it. It's so good, dude, because you can tell the people who worked on it actually fucking give a shit about what they're doing. And a majority of these big companies, they don't fucking care about you. They don't care about making good products. They're just all they care about is just, it's a money incentive and shareholders and all this bullshit. And that's what has ruined this industry and what has ruined this amazing art form, hobby, whatever you want to call it, that we've all enjoyed for so long. And it's been such fucking dog shit because of these big major companies. So these AA companies that are going to come up, these smaller teams, they're going to flourish. Now, obviously, a company like Rockstar with GTA 6, like the big dog companies that make games that people are going to fucking play, they're going to do well. But a lot of these other bigger companies that keep fucking up and making dog shit, they're gonna fucking go out of business, bro. They're gonna have to downsize. They're gonna have to close their studios. They're gonna be making less games, which is good, you know, until they learn a lesson and actually like improve in the areas that we want to see them improve in, and stop being so predatory with like the microtransactions and, you know, the way you charge for the game. It's like, until they do that, I don't fucking give a shit if they go under. Like, I don't care. And I think most people feel the same way. If Expedition 33 was a Square Enix game, it would be $80. Easy. They would have taken out like half the shit that you're doing in the game for free and put that as DLC. It's like, you can't tell me they wouldn't do that, bro. That's just how it is. And yeah, Oblivion Remastered still has horse armor and all this. It's the fact that like it's only $50. It's the fact that this is a trend that we're going to start seeing more of with these smaller studios, these smaller games, these smaller releases. You know, they're not going to charge full price. They're going to go the opposite direction that, you know, Rockstar might be going, that, you know, Nintendo might be going. Rockstar, a lot of people are saying it's going to cost $100 for GTA 6. People have been saying that for like 2 years, and nobody cares. Like, the amount of outrage that people are going to have over that game, nobody really cares, bro, because the majority of people are still going to pay $100 to play it. I'm not even going to lie. I'm still going to pay $100 to play it. And we've been waiting so long for a GTA game that even if it has kind of the same mission style and gameplay style, which I think it's going to be a lot closer to like Red Dead in terms of like the gameplay, which is good. Is it a little slow because of the amount of animations? Yeah, but it's like for a first time playthrough, dude, where you just kind of like take your time with it and you do as much as possible, it's a great experience. It's like one of the best gaming experiences you'll ever have. Do you want to replay it after that? Not really. Like, I don't really ever want to replay Red Dead 2. I just don't. I did kind of everything I want to do with it. I did as much of the content as I possibly could, as much of the hunting and all that bullshit. Do I want to do it again? Probably not. But that first playthrough was good enough. It was like, I got over 100 hours for my money. It was on PS4, which, by the way, you know how I talked about graphics like plateauing? GTA 6 might be like the next game that actually does push graphics in a way, like really pushes it. At least I would assume it's going to do that, because it does look good, even though it's just cutscenes that we're looking at. But I do actually think it's going to be the next game that really does like set the bar high, because Red Dead 2 came out on the PS4, bro. Like, I don't know if you played it on the PS4. It's like one of the best looking games of all time. Like, even back when it first released on the PS4 and it wasn't at 60 FPS and you didn't have first person and all this, you didn't have all this shit, it was pretty good, bro. It was like, oh, fuck, man. This is actually like a really pretty looking game. Like, it's probably the best looking game objectively on that generation of consoles for how big it is and how much shit is in there, dude. And it all looks really good. So GTA 6, I would imagine, is going to be, if it's even on the same level, I think it's going to be a little bit more, but even if it's just on the same level, a little bit higher, it's still going to look better than most games. All right, maybe the gameplay won't be as revolutionary, but it doesn't have to be, dude. People don't really care. They've been waiting so long for a GTA 6 game. They're just going to play it regardless. That's just how it's going to be. So the big dogs like Rockstar, they can make that shit. They can do that shit. They're going to make money. But the smaller studios, the double A studios, the smaller teams, the people that make indie games, the people that make above indie games, whatever you want to call it. There's so many different names, but they have an opportunity here to go against the grain. All these big studios are going to try and copy Rockstar. If Rockstar charges $100, everybody's going to pay up because they want to play it. Let's be fair. But Square Enix, they're going to look at Rockstar and they're going to be like, well, we're a big company too. We can charge $100. Nintendo's going to look at them. They're going to be like, hey, you know that HD port where we're going to take this game on the Game Boy Advance and we're going to put it in 1080p on the Nintendo Switch 2? Yeah, let's charge $5 billion for that shit. And the Nintendo fanboys are going to pay up. They're going to be like, ah, yes. Yes, my queen. Yes, master. Yeah, put me in credit card debt even more. I need to play Mario in 1080p on my Nintendo Switch 2. Like, all these companies are going to try and copy them, and they're going to fail, dude, because they're not spending $2 billion on a game. Rockstar's spending $2 billion, all right? If they're going to charge $100, they're like the only ones that are going to be able to get away with it. Am I happy if they do charge that much? No. Would I want them to charge that much? No. But they could do it, and they're still going to be successful. All these other big companies, they're going to follow suit. They're not going to be successful. They're going to fucking fail. These AA studios, these smaller teams, this is their opportunity to shine. The industry can be revolutionized. I was kind of a doomer for a long time when it came to video games, but I really am optimistic about all this because this is a moment in this industry, right, where these people that actually give a shit about what they're doing, they have an opportunity to not only make games that they want to make, but actually make good profit and charge less for it. They go against the grain. You do the opposite of what the big studios are doing, and we're seeing it. It already started. The $80, $90 Nintendo games aren't even out yet, bro, and these AA studios are kicking ass. $50, bro. Fuck you, bro. Here's $50. I'll give you the best experience of the year, hands down. It's like, hell yeah, bro. Like, do it. Let these studios do that. And if they have to sell a little bit, a few more units to make a profit or do whatever, I think they're going to be able to do that. And it goes to show how well Oblivion has sold, how well Expedition has sold, and how people are going to, get used to these studios putting games out for this price point. People are going to want to buy into these games. Plus, people who are getting into gaming, which you'd be surprised, there are people every day who have never played games that decide, hey, I'm going to start doing that. They're going to look at games that are $80, $90. They're going to look at GTA being $100. They're going to look at Square Enix being retarded, and they're going to be like, well, these games are so expensive, I don't want to do that, but this other game, it's brand new and it's only $50. I'm going to get that one. I'm going to try that one out. And guess what? They're going to get the better deal and the better experience. They're going to get they're going to get their cake and they're going to be able to eat it too and all, whatever. They're going to get everything what they want. And I see that as a great opportunity for this industry to turn around. For a while we had the indie boom where it was like the $10 like pixel art fucking bullshit. Oh, here you go, like here's the same game by like 30 different studios. It's 45 cents and it has 2 songs and 10 minutes of gameplay, but it's only $10. And everybody, that was like the boom. We had all that. We had the roguelikes and we had the platformers and we had all that shit for years and years. And then let's face it, to be honest, we kind of got tired of it. We're like, all right, we want something new. This is what we're getting. This is what's going to be new. This is the new trend. The new trend isn't just the price hike. That is going to happen. You're going to have these big studios charging bullshit, but also there's going to be a counterculture to that, and that's these AA studios. That's these smaller teams. These people that actually care about what they're doing. They're going to be able to combat that, and I think it's going to create a lot of healthy competition, and I think it's good, bro. Fuck the big studios. Let these smaller studios show them how to do it. Let them show these big studios what people actually really want, what people want to play. and they're going to do it. People are going to get it. You know, people don't want every game to be open world with day and night cycles and people want games to have stories and characters and gameplay that actually matches the vibe, that actually fits into the game. Not every game needs to be this open world thing where there's 80 billion quest markers and you have to run around the world and you have to collect 30 different, items to get a trophy. It's like, dude, you gotta go around the world and you gotta find all the pigeon shits. And when you collect 30 pigeon shits, you get the pigeon shit outfit and you can do the Fortnite dance where you shit on people, but you do a pigeon shit emote. It's like, no, bro, like you don't need to have all this bullshit in your games. Just focus on the things that matter. I know it's easy to say that, and I understand that, not every game is going to be ClairObscur. Not every game is going to be Mafia. Not every game is going to be Split Fiction. Not every game is going to be that. Not every game is going to be a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, whatever. But even the 7 out of 10s, I would go as far to say that if you are a smaller studio, and if your game isn't the greatest thing of all time, I guarantee you, bro, if you sell it at $50, you're going to make money. Because people are going to be a lot more forgiving for whatever type of issues your game has if it's $50 compared to fucking 80. You don't even have to think about that, bro. Like it's a given. All in all, my opinion on all of this is I'm very optimistic. I'm very hopeful. This is great, man. We're so back, dude. We thought we were gonna be in Doomer fucking bullshit Fortnite skin land forever. Fuck those games, bro. We're gonna get good games again. We're gonna get, people who actually care about what they're doing. And I think this is the start of a new trend, and I don't think we have to worry about games like GTA 6 inspiring all these companies to charge $100 for. I don't think we have to worry about that so much, because a lot of these companies make trash. It's like, man, the game that sucks cost $100. Fuck. Like, who cares? You weren't gonna play that to begin with. And not every game needs to be 80, 100 hours. Look at fucking Dragon Age the Veilguard. I know we've all shit on this game so much, but even people who really loved Dragon Age the Veilguard, what's one of the biggest cons they said about that game? What's one of the biggest cons? Because I watched the reviews. I watched all the first looks and my thoughts and deep dives. What was one of the biggest cons that all these people who loved the game had? They loved the very beginning and the very ending of the game. The majority of the game, the 90% of the game, which is like the middle part, they fucking didn't like. They were like, it was boring. It had dumb shit that didn't really matter. It had plot holes. It had like things that didn't like come back later. It had choices that didn't matter. It had shitty writing and shitty quests and shitty romances, and the combat was kind of boring after like 20 hours. And it's like, so you mean the entire game? If the beginning of a game, if a game is 80 hours, and if the first 3 hours is good and the last 2 hours is good and the rest of it sucks, the game sucks. It's not fun. It's just that simple, bro. It's about the journey, right? Isn't that what every fucking hippie on Reddit says? It's about the journey. It's about the experience. Well, if the experience is fetch quests and fucking bullshit, what's the point? I guarantee you know what? Maybe Dragon Age the Veilguard would have been a lot better if they condensed that shit down to 30 hours. If it was a 30-hour game. Some of BioWare's best RPGs, yeah, they're older. They're 20 plus years old at this point, but they're like 25 to 35-hour games. You could beat them in a weekend. You could beat them in 1 to 2 weeks. Not every game needs to fucking live forever. And guess what? I guarantee you take somebody who plays a game like Expedition 33 or Mafia the Old Country. I guarantee you that's going to be a good one. It's going to be a shorter game. You take somebody who plays a game like that, who has an experience with good characters and good writing and not a bunch of fluff and bullshit that they don't care about, and ask them, what's a better game overall, this game or Fortnite? They're going to fucking tell you, bro, this game. They're going to tell you Expedition. They're going to tell you the smaller games that had characters that mattered and story moments that mattered and choices that mattered and experiences that were unique and creative. They're going to say that over the game that's live service every day of the week. Maybe you'll have some brain dead fucking moron who's going to be like, Fortnite, best game. I hit the gritty as Darth Vader and I Thanos slapped my ball sack across his face. They're going to be like, yeah, best game of all time. Actually, Roblox is the best game of all time. Of course, everybody likes what they like, but the majority of people that actually play games, they're going to be like, this shit was better. And so, like I said, I'm optimistic. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited that games are going to be $50 and not everything's going to be 90 fucking bucks? What do you think about Nintendo doing that bullshit? Do you think these companies are going to try and copy them? Do you think GTA 6 looks good? Do you think it's going to be $100? I'm not actually sold on it being $100. It could be $100, but also I'm thinking, like, to be honest, I'm probably just going to say it right now. I think it's just going to be like $70, which is still a lot. It's just going to be like the highest price. It might have digital deluxe editions, but I really don't think it's going to be $100. You know, they're going to make fucking their money back within the first like 2 weeks. Like, let's be real here. And I think they might actually make more money if they charge that price, that $70 price, opposed to $100. I mean, I don't know. They're going to make money either way, but we'll see. But I'm not convinced it's going to be a $100 game, at least for the base edition. But are you guys going to play it? Did you like the reveal, the new trailer? I thought it was kind of cool. Have you played Expedition 33? Did you see Mafia: The Old Country? Have you played Oblivion Remastered? Like, what do you guys think about all this stuff? What do you think about all this money shit going on? What do you think about games and the future of gaming? Are you hopeful? Are you still in Doomland? Like, what's going on? But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, subscribe, like, comment, share with your mom and your stepsister. Be on the lookout for more content, man. We got the Fallout Let's Plays going, and we have more content coming your way. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your night, and I'll see you all later.